Hello everyone, let's make one of these. Hi 3D Beagles, and welcome to episode 1 of building your very own full-size Pit Droid from the amazing guys over at Droid Division. In this video we will be going over what you might need in terms of equipment and bits and pieces, and give you a guide of just the first stage, which for me is to obviously take them off the print, get rid of the supports, and do a dry fit, as you can see behind me, just to make sure everything fits together. There's nothing worse than having something fully painted and finished and you go to put it all together and it doesn't fit. So that's a definite must, what you must do before you get going. Obviously this is my first build sharing with everyone and you guys, so forgive the bit of nerves and so on, but I'm very, very excited about doing it. Let me just put it out there that this is my way of putting together and making models or droids or whatever. If you've got a better way of doing things and want to share that, then please leave a comment in the comments below. And if you want to enjoy this and many other videos coming up, please press that like and subscribe, get the channel built, and we'll do plenty more. After all, we all learn from each other at the end of the day, so that's the way it is. Your first point of call is Droid Division. Obviously, I'll drop a link in the description below. They have an amazing Etsy site. Every droid that you could possibly think of, and more probably to follow. Absolutely amazingly modelled. All crafted ready for you to purchase and download. So you can browse the menus or drop a search for what you're looking for. Not only do you get the STL files, but the amazing thing is you get all the PDFs and instructions on how to put them together, and a list of equipment that you might need for basically everything you need to get going. They're absolutely brilliant. Hints and tips as well. Really easy. So once you've bought your STL files and downloaded them, I'll show you the PDFs. So for each droid, you get one of these PDFs, just like an instruction manual. All the print settings you might need, the bolts that you're going to need, where you can get them, and then, as I say, the instructions to put the units together, suggestions on where you might start. I mean, they do suggest you start with the head, just so you get a complete part and spurs you on to complete the rest of it, I assume. Other units, like obviously the mask, the eyepiece, ways of doing that. Absolutely brilliant. So very, very well put together. So why did I choose a Pit Droid? Well, although it's life size, it's still a big fair amount of printing. It's probably the simplest droid out of all of them in terms of size and amount of parts and so on to put together. So it's a great starting point on doing this sort of prop or droid. So what do you need? Well, firstly, one of these, or not this one, but a 3D printer of some sort. Probably recommended to at least 250 by 250, well, the bamboo size 256 upwards, depending on how many slices of the print you want to do. Obviously, for some of the bigger prints, if you can go 300, you tend to fit most parts full on there. This particular one, I didn't choose to print all the parts in one go. I did slice some of them, or what Droid Division do is give you cut versions for smaller printers. So any printer, or pretty much most printers are available, being used now, you can create the parts no problem. I chose to some of the smaller parts purely because they sit on the bed and print in such a way that I've got less supports and layer lines and things like that. I can get fine tuned. So I've got less post processing to do, which is what we all want, really. So let's go over all the things that you actually need. Number one, sandpaper. Now, again, post processing, depending on how good a quality finish you want for painting. I start generally with these first, before I prime anything or paint anything, is key all the parts with about 120 grit, and then just work my way up from there, layer by layer, as each coat of paint goes on the priming stage, which we'll get to in the next video. I go up in grades until we get that really nice smooth finish. The second one, of course, is an adhesive of some sort. These parts do need gluing together, albeit obviously a lot of the moving parts are bolted and so on, but there are inevitably parts that you need to glue together, especially if you're printing on a small printer. Obviously parts are split, so I tend to use this glue here. It's relatively inexpensive. The only thing with it is it goes off pretty darn quick, so if it's not lined up where you want, you've not got long to get it lined up. So, but yeah, it's done the job brilliantly, so no problem there. And then once the parts are glued together, obviously if you've got split parts, sorry fella, I'm going to pull your leg off. Obviously you've got to join those parts and you've got to fill that join. As you can see on there, there's not much filler on that one. It's filled on that side. I've got to go over it again anyway, so I'm go again. As I say, I'll describe that a bit more in the next video or the next stage. Oh, I've dropped it. Obviously, in the UK, you can't get Bondo, or very difficult to get Bondo, and I'd love to get some of that. A lot of people mix that with acetone and paint it on, and feels all the difficult to get to areas and easy to sand. If anyone knows where you can get Bondo or equivalent in the UK, again, leave a comment. I'd like to know where I could get it. Currently, I'm using this stuff. I found it brilliant. It's really easy to sand, easy to apply. Comes in a, get it out. Comes in a small tube, and I put a latex glove on. Just rub it on with your finger, and it does the job. Again, you'll see that in the next video. Right, I'm going to give his leg back. I think he's missing it. And we'll drop the other one. That's right, mate. Right. As you can see, I haven't bolted the legs on because I forgot to get the barrel nuts. So, okay, but I know they fit. I have tested with other parts. So, okay. The next thing is how you're going to paint it. Now, again, everyone's got their different methods and techniques. I'm still not 100% sure, but the first stage is pretty much the same with everybody, and that is priming. Now I use, or have been using, this stuff. Now this is like a filler primer. It fills all the layer lines in. Put quite a heavy coat on, sand, heavy coat, finer sand. If it needs another coat, Normally I do it about 3 times. Another coat, sand down, and then you're ready for your base colour. Now I'm using black, and the reason being is I'm going to put my base colour in as a silver, which is this one. And the reason I'm going to do that is the base is going to do that. The weathering I'm going to put on using masking fluid. Now, again, depending on how detailed you want this, some people don't even paint them, but that's entirely up to you. This is the creative bit. It's up to you how you want your droid to look. I'm trying to go for a bit more of a realistic look. So all the edges, I mean, these guys work in the garage of the future, if you like. So they've always been knocked about and working in muck and grit of them and so on. So their paint gets chipped. So this is a good way of doing that. So you've got a silver base coat, put the masking fluid on the areas that you want to show chips, etc. And so when you put your final colour on and that's gone off, you can rub this stuff back off and it reveals the silver underneath. Makes it a bit more realistic chipping and so on. Again, we'll go over that when we get to that stage of building in. So the other tools are your regular tools that you need for any model making, and that's your snips, pliers for taking off the supports and so on from after the print process, and all your craft knives and files and so on, which you'll see in the time lapses that I've done. I have got a Dremel as well. I do recommend them. They are great for clearing out bolt holes and things like that you need to clear out. I didn't use it this time because I was inside and I don't want to get dust everywhere in here, so I have to use them outside, and the weather's only just started getting better, so hence I'm doing the video now more because I can get outside and do this sort of thing. And last but not least is all the accessories. So I'm going to add a light into his eye. Ooh, gone out of focus a little bit there. Into his eye. And obviously you're going to need a clear plastic dome on there. If you want to add a clear plastic dome, you'll see it. You saw it probably in the PDF. But I bought on Amazon some of these clear crystal, clear Christmas balls, and I'm going to cut one of them down to fit in there. Yep, I mean it's all suggested in PDFs, if I say so. Yeah. Right, so I've done some time lapses of the next bit. So sit back and relax. Purely all it is taking the parts and putting them together and then assembling him as a dry fit to make sure he all goes together. When it comes to once I've broken him down and it comes to the sanding and filling stage, obviously I'll do that a bit more step by step so you can see what's going on. So sit back, grab yourself a drink and have a watch. hope you've enjoyed this video. In the next one, we will be doing going over the parts in a bit more detail rather than just time lapses, so you'll get to see what goes where, etc. So in the next one, we'll be doing the filling, sanding back, and maybe the first coat of priming, hopefully, and going from there. So look forward to seeing you in the next one. Please leave a like and subscribe. Adios for now. Bye bye.